Hey, what's good? What's good? It's your man, Rico, the opinionist. Y'all know I'm on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. And I'm coming to you at a little after midnight, January 28th. And today is my birthday. Yay. I turned 54. And, you know, and of course I'm happy about it. Yeah, I'm 54 years around the sun, as they say. And trying to make sure I make it to another 54. But it's kind of a bittersweet introduction to my 54th. Because last night at 6 p.m. on the 27th, Friday the 27th, they released the videos to show us how the Memphis Police Department cops, 5 of them, beat him to death. Or beat him, what led to his death 3 days later. And I watched the video or videos, and of course, like cop fashion, cursing and could have blowed your mother of a head off. I mean, they sound as if they had never read a paragraph off of a cereal box. That's just how low brow, low IQ these cops were. It's almost like they were a bunch of ravenous or savage hyenas attacking a deer or even a fawn. They were all taking swipes. And, if you haven't watched the video, it's up to you if you want to watch it or not. But I wanted to see it because, it's always a reminder as being black in America, but most importantly, black male, be it a boy or a man. The system of white racism, white supremacy does not want to see us here. And people were saying, well, those were 5 black cops. Well, Carter G. Woodson talked about those 5 black cops years ago in his book, Miseducation of the Negro. Dr. Claude Anderson spoke about in his video, Inappropriate Behavior. Go and look it up. We talked about Sambo. People would like to call folks, they think this kind of going along with the white society, call him Uncle Tom, but actually it was Sambo. Those were a bunch of Sambos. Sambo is the one who beat Uncle Tom to death because Uncle Tom wouldn't beat women and beat other slaves. So those Sambos attacked this brother, beat him up, beat him to death. They had him handcuffed. It's a bunch of cowards. They had him handcuffed, and when they ran, first he got away. It was the white cops that pulled him out the car, and the black cops pulled out the car, cussing, right? Then he somehow got away. He was running with his shirt off, and then they show where it picks up where they caught up with him, and that's when the 5 black cops, the other cops stayed back and let them bludgeon the brother to death. And the beating was kicks to the face and the head. And then when they handcuffed him, and they took turns punching him in the face and beating him with the baton in the face. Because, he's like this, so he can't block. Each one of them, 1 or 2, took turns punching him with all their might, to the point that one was limping off. The other one bent down and grabbed to his knees to catch his breath, and then went back at it. Then somebody pulled up in a police car to get a few kicks in. So needless to say, when that 3 minutes of brutality was up, they drug him to a car. And I think, and according to the people who were narrating, and one of the reporters who was talking to, I think Top News or something, talking to 2 of the city councilmen on the Memphis City Council, they said it took 20 minutes before the EMT or ambulance to arrive to render aid, because those cops, none of them, you watch the videos, they didn't render any aid. They've been formally charged, 2nd-degree murder, failure to receive aid, and failure to follow procedure, all those things. But, and even as we speak, there are people down in I-55 there in Memphis holding up traffic. Chris Pete, what's up? Y'all share this live. They're holding up the traffic and good. But you know, stuff like this has become too normalized. A lot of people were saying, you know, hey, don't watch the video. Let's pray for Memphis and Father God, pray for Memphis, all of that. You know, Minister Farrakhan told us in the 90s that Memphis was the city of the dead. None of you thought to pray for Memphis then? So all of a sudden, when you think that you may have to get off your ass and get into action and actually fight for yourself, you won't pray for the city. No, you don't need to pray for Memphis. What you need to do is start voting correctly. Because I need y'all to pay attention to everything that's going on. It's not happening so quickly that you'll miss something. No, it's just pay attention. During the press conference on the day before yesterday, or I guess a few days ago, you notice all of these elected officials were in the House. And a couple of them have even gotten a chance to be interviewed by national news. See, this is the same stuff that goes on every time there's a tragedy perpetuated against African Americans by the system. The black politician, or the black Greek letter politician. Oh, guess what? One of my friends spotted a wristband of one of the cops who was beating the guy. He had on a wristband that said Omega Psi-Phi. And I said, well, we know where he learned to haze at, to brutally beat at. And no offense to all of them, but I'm just saying he appeared to be a member of Omega Psi-Phi. I wonder if they're going to come out and make a statement denouncing him, or they're going to silently support him because he's a bruh. But it comes down to this one thing. You know, this young man didn't have to die. He didn't have to die at all. He wasn't supposed to. He wasn't supposed to be snatched out of the car for alleged reckless driving. He wasn't. You know, something else was going on for them to be so mad. Ben Crump said, where was the de-escalation in his press conference? What was it? It was nobody there to tell them to cool it, calm down. Wait a minute, damn. Haven't y'all had enough of beating a defenseless man? Nobody was there. They were all on the same page. Even the cops that you didn't see who were not in the frame, they stood there by their cars or whatever and watched this go down. So from what I understand, watching the news, the investigation is ongoing, and it may be more than just those 5 being fired and or charged. And so those who didn't want to watch the video, you know, it's your choice. You know, I just find it amazing all these different things that kind of change when this, you know, all of a sudden you don't want to watch the videos, right? Because people say, you know, that's trauma and we don't want to be watching that trauma. I don't know. Let me process this just a moment, okay? So you didn't want to watch the video. And from what I learned from observing people, nobody likes for the truth to stare them in the face, because when you face with the truth, that means you have to become physically or monetarily active. And black Americans, black Memphis has become so mentally, spiritually handicapped that they're pretty much satisfied with the status quo. Or they're waiting for Jesus to come back to make that change that 450,000 people can make on their own. They won't do it. They want two activists that they're always naming in Memphis to do all the work, but they would never vote these activists to the city council or to the school board or even mayor. Isn't that amazing? You want these community activists to be out there to stop, to do the protesting, to stick it to the system. But then you wouldn't vote for these people to be your next city council representative, or your county commissioner representative, or your mayor. So y'all don't mind the militants going out there possibly getting pepper sprayed and shot with rubber bullets, but you'll never vote a labeled militant Thank you, Kareem. What's up, my man? But you'll never, ever vote a so-called labeled militant to elected office, the state representatives. Y'all still continue to vote these do-nothing, lazy-ass, go along to get along people who just jail right into the white supremacist system as long as they get an envelope. Because Memphis, I'm from Memphis. I left Memphis at 37 years old. So I know my city. I know the politics. I know the mindset. And it has not changed in the 15 years I've been away, living here in Dallas-Fort Worth. It has not changed. It's still that cotton picking, I'm going to wait on the Lord kind of mindset. And then when something's about to pop off, let's pray for Memphis. Let's pray for peace in our city. Go on with that shit. You don't have to do all that if you're actually doing the work. And you can't expect two people or a group of 5 people or what have you, a small group who's not as funded as you are to make the changes in Memphis. But y'all always want these folks with the tight suits and with the most proper professional English to represent you, but they get in there and they sweet talk their way into some type of white corporate job or white corporate an appointment to a board or something. They don't ever do the will of the people. See, this stuff with the police department could have been changed a long time ago. But the masses of Black Memphis will not come out and fight against police brutality. Hell, the masses of Black Memphis won't even come out and fight against the crime wave. They're sitting around waiting for city council persons, county commissioners, school board members to do the work that they're supposed to be doing. And part of your work is Black Memphians, which is 66% Black. That is, you make sure you put somebody in office who has your best interests at heart. So you can continue to have these rogue cops being trained, and trained obviously to kill Black men, in my opinion. Put on this force. You know, people like, don't watch the video. I know you don't want to watch it because when you watch stuff like that, it strikes a chord. I know it hits my body that makes you want to become active, and we have no interest in changing our condition. But luckily tonight the video was put out and the world is seeing it. And I think there's a protest even going on in D.C. The coach of the Memphis Grizzlies made a statement and about it and expressing their concerns and their sorrow and all that. So it's getting beyond you in Memphis. It doesn't make any sense. You get on talk radio, you get everywhere and talk bad about the so-called labeled militants. But those of you who are supposed to be believers and so professional, y'all need to be joining forces with the so-called labeled militants. Not NAACP, not Black Lives Matter, not SCLC, none of those useless ass organizations in Memphis. I'm talking about, y'all know who the people are. The folks with the dreads, with the African last names or the Muslim last names. Those folks. No, they don't speak the best English, or they may not. They may come across sounding like NFL Hall of Famer Ed Reed. But these are the people that get the word out and get the things done while y'all sitting around hiding, waiting on, I guess, Jesus or somebody to come back and do it for you. Least you can do is reward them with your support if you're too cowardly to stand up on your own. You know what? I know nobody wants that smoke. But see, you can't talk about how afraid you are when we had people like your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ who stood up for you. Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Medgar Evers, Fannie Lou, Ida B. Wells. All these people, Denmark Vesey, David Walker. We had all these scholars and historians and revolutionaries and Chairman Fred Hampton and Black Panthers. And these people stood up for you. But you won't stand up for yourself. And they lost their lives. They lost their livelihood. They lost family. So you can sit back and gossip about, them Black militants, they be out there doing it. That's the stuff it takes to get things done. So, Yeah, tonight, it's after midnight, is my birthday, but I want to share my birthday with the memory of this brother. You know, because it sucked. It was terrible. The video was terrible. It was brutal. It was disgusting. It was cowardly. Y'all gonna handcuff a dude and beat him up, then kick him in the face and stomp him and stuff. A handcuffed, as his mom described him, as 6'3", 140 pounds, 145 max, skinny dude. And then one of them kicked him so much and he limped away from the kicking and from the fighting. Just check out the videos. It's terrible. A lot of them they were spraying mace like it was hell, like it was Lysol. They were each one of them trying to empty the can on the man. Then they tased him and he was able to get up and get away. Hell yeah, he ran off. You know. It's funny you say don't watch the video because of trauma, but that's the kind of stuff you need to be watching to motivate you. But we'll watch things that's actually traumatic to our brains. We'll watch P-Valley where they got a grown man with a mustache wearing a wig and cussing out strippers and grown black men getting their cheeks clapped. Y'all watch P-Valley. That's traumatizing to the brain. Y'all watch All Powers, book 1, book 2. All that hood and thug behavior. That's traumatic. Y'all watch Black Mafia Family. Y'all watch all the kind of hood shit. That's traumatic to the brain. But y'all won't watch this video here? They'll cause you to be motivated to get out and change some things? No, we're kind of weird as a community in Memphis and across America. And it's time out for that. Just time out. Stand up or get the fuck out the way. No. It's supposed to be a group effort. Hey, Molly. Hey, sweetheart. There's just time out for standing by and watching two people represent 500,000 blacks. When can you at least get 150,000 blacks to commit to the revolution? Doesn't make any sense. Unless it's somebody you like or you think will represent. You know, let's say for you Christian folks, what if Jesus came back and he looked and sounded like me? Y'all gonna deny him. Y'all hope he comes back and look and sounds like Shamar Moore. I know, with a relaxer, with a perm, with a straight do, flipped. I know a lot of you do. Yeah, I know I'm being petty and shit, but I'm just sick of it. And black men will have to do better at protecting ourselves in society. We're going to have to do better, black men. We'll have to do better. Because it's long past being a myth that black women are the most unprotected. That's not true. It hadn't been true in the past 60 years. Really past, yeah. About past 50 years, it hadn't been true. Black boys and black men are the most unprotected. So much so that we don't even protect each other. We're joining the haters to hate on other black men. And that's what we had tonight. We had 5 Sambos to beat a black man to death. That's what happened on the 7th. And we're going to have to do better. No. It's weird. Check out the video if y'all want to. You know. It's just that mood that hits you when you know things ain't right. You just, what can you do? What do you want to do? And I know we want to do. They have laws in place to prevent you from doing things that you really should do. Yeah, it was tragic, Molly. It sucked. But what's more tragic is that we're sitting around worrying about if there's going to be a riot or whatever. That's what Black Memphis is worried about. I hope that I read some woman said, no, they don't tear up the city because you don't need to tear up the city. First of all, there's nothing to tear up. And they're not going to be tearing up Hollywood, North Memphis, where I'm from. They're not going to be tearing up Mississippi and Walker. But anything they're tearing up downtown was barely anything that's black owned down there. Yeah, y'all, Memphis is like black populated, but don't all own jack. Really, where it really counts, like the money, the land, the real estate. A lot of black Memphis don't even own that. Just the minority white folks and others. Isn't that interesting? I always describe my hometown as like apartheid South Africa. You got 100 white folks ruling over 10,000 blacks. I mean, they're in charge of the legal part, they're in charge of the criminal justice. You know, we got a white mayor and the blackest section probably in the country. District 9 has been led or has been represented by an old white Jewish man that's possibly LGBT. They wouldn't even vote a black man or black woman into that district. Well, no black woman has really run for congressman in 9th district. It's been black men. The one we had was a very qualified brother. But they wouldn't. They voted the Jewish white man in who does nothing to give back to their city. In Congress all the time. But he voted on money to give to Ukraine, though. So we got to get ourselves together. And you should watch that video so you can get an understanding what you should be doing being a majority black city. With your kids are barely 15% of all the kids in Memphis city schools are at grade reading level. You know, that's the stuff we should be worried about. It's things we should be working on in my hometown. So hopefully he didn't die in vain. Hopefully all 5 of those cops plus others, but those 5 cops, hopefully they get at least 30 years apiece with no parole, no probation, none of that stuff. Because they did him dirty, to be, for lack of better words, they did. I feel badly for his family, his mother, and his stepfather, and his siblings. Then found out he had a little baby. That they had to witness that, you know. Hope Ben Crump at least sues for at least $150 million plus. This is ridiculous. But black men really need to step up to protect ourselves. And protect ourselves means we're gonna have to become organized as a group in this country. And black Memphis, the men there, the ones that are left, you're gonna have to organize as a group and vote your interests. Black American men are gonna have to start voting their interests. They're gonna have to start putting themselves in these spaces where they're absent. In these legal spaces where they're absent. Molly said it's sad because it was black officers along with that, but yeah. But you know, I wasn't shocked because a lot of people saying, "Man, I hope it's not black cops." But I bet you it ain't. They were saying, "I bet it's white cops," or they were hoping it wouldn't be black cops. For me, I don't look at black or white when it comes to the police officer. It's blue. See, you can have a black congressman, you can have a black teacher, you can have a black anything, but if their minds, shout out to Carter G. Woodson, shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson, shout out to Brother Neely Fuller, shout out to Dr. Francis Cresswell, so their mind is connected or is bought into the white supremacist ideology when it comes to how they view other blacks. It doesn't matter. If we live under, it's a system. You can have all the black cops you want, but they still gonna view black people, especially black boys and black men, as the enemy. They've always done that. They've always done that. We've always had bootlicks and Sambos in our race. Since even on the plantation, that's what Sambo was created. I got you, master. No, just for those, I'm not gonna go that far. I'm just gonna give y'all the movie Django Unchained. Samuel Jackson's character, Stephen. Those were the Negroes that beat that young man. Stephen from Django. Because when you try to go into historical context, like, Sambo, who is that? We don't know. So let me give you something that you can understand. Yeah, he called us for his mom. He did. Mom! Molly says while he was beating him, he called out for his mom. So sad. Because he was literally 3 houses away from his mother. That's why he ran to get home. And he said, "Mom, I'm on the ground." I'm like, "Mom, Mom." He did. It was terrible. But I didn't care. You know, And it's interesting how these cops and other people behave as if they don't have relatives. It's the weirdest behavior. I mean, you don't give a damn. I'm going to take this Negro out. They didn't care. And then rumors going around, vicious rumor that he was probably killed or attacked because of a woman or possibly one of the officers' wives. It was just a rumor that's flying around. Don't get me lying, but those are people saying. Because it was just too bad talking. It was just too bad of an attack for it just to be a traffic stop. And I want to say it again. These two groups of people, and these white folks and these cop lovers and these cowards, two things. Stop normalizing, or we're not going to normalize it anymore, any longer. Well, you know, when you run away from the police, they going to beat your ass. Now, I just want to educate all of you who have this weird thinking. Every race, every gender has run from the police and continue to run from the police. Every race and every gender has resisted the police and are currently resisting the police. So how come when a black male resists the police or he runs from the police, it ends up in murder? The other people do the same thing. We've seen video after video on TikTok, Instagram, or all over social media. There'll be a wild scene with a couple of white men on that meth fighting the police naked. They tried to tase him, but nobody put him in a chokehold and kicked him and held him up and punched him in the face and held him up and punched him in the face and beat him in the face with a baton and beat him in the face with a baton until he died. They don't do white folks like that. They don't do Jews like that. They don't do, if they know they're homosexuals like that. They go by, if you look like me and Don Cheadle, anywhere near us, you're going to die. And all this shit about, well, you need to comply. You don't have to comply because no other group complies. So y'all stop it. No other group has to comply with the cops except for black men. Y'all haven't learned that yet? Every race, every gender runs from the police. Every race, every gender resists the police. Every race, every gender does not comply with the police. But still, they get to be arrested and taken down and booked and get their day in court. But black males somehow end up murdered, beaten to death, or flat out murdered. When are we going to address this? We're going to keep on letting white folks tell us how we're supposed to act with the police when they do what the fuck they want to do with the police? We're not going to do this. Y'all see them beat an Asian to death? Y'all think all Asians comply? Hell no. But if you understand benign neglect, shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson, how your politicians act, we should never have anything specific for black folks. We understand why we're here. So saith the Constitution of the United States. Black men. And number two, the other group. Well, black men are kidding each other and all this. That ain't got nothing to do with what happened to Tyree Nichols. It has nothing to do with any other cop murdering, being Eric Brown or Eric Garner, Mike Brown, Tamir Rice, whoever. It doesn't have anything to do with that. Thank you, Miss, Joaquina Woodard? Thank you. It doesn't have anything to do with that. That's two separate situations. When black people kill black people, they get arrested and they get taken to court. Get found guilty, they go serve their time. But when a police officer, taxpayer paid public servant, government aid servant, who's paid to protect and serve and keep order, when they murder a black male, they get time off, administrative leave, but pay. And sometimes they can push the trial off to 3 years. Tatiana Jefferson's case here in Fort Worth. Get the trial delayed for 2 or 3 years. Nothing happens to them. They get to live their lives and keep their pension and all of that. Then if they find it, and then lately they've been finally getting a few of them, getting them guilty, but they're giving them less. They're giving them 8 years and 4 years and 9 years. This last one, Tatiana Jefferson, got 11 years. And he flat out murdered that woman, that young woman. But see, for those of you, until these little liberal white folks, these slick racist white folks, well, y'all gonna do any rioting because y'all found out they were black. You're not gonna do this. You're gonna do that. Let me tell you something to all of you who have that attitude. See, we understand racism to a point that these are black men, and then they're not even going to be tried as cops. They're going to be tried as men, black men. White men get to be tried as, and viewed as cops because there's a system behind them being white and a cop. But a black officer, they remove the cop, and he's a black man. And so, they're going to be just as, they got out a little early, they made their bonds, I think $1 million bonds. No, they're behind them here, but when they get with that grand jury and they get with like a jury in the court, it's going to be open and shut because they're black men. Y'all get it? That's why the big whoop, but still we should be upset doubly because they are black men. Y'all beat a black dude to death for nothing. Then they're going to try to lie like, yo, see him trying to fight me? Now they got the lie. They're going to come up with a whole lot of lie. He tried to take our gun. He tried to do this. No, he was trying to snatch away from you. He wasn't trying to fight you. He was trying to snatch away. Trying to fight you, cowardly, weird-ass cops, and trying to snatch away from you, two different things. He's trying to get out of harm's way. But I'm sure they're going to get a prosecutor. Their attorney's going to try to spin it like he was in the wrong. 6'3", 145 pounds. 5 men, handcuff him like this and take their turn, punching him in the face, beating him with the baton in the face, punching him in the face and get him on the ground and kick him in the face and kick him all in the jaw and stuff. Yeah. What's that? Joaquina Woodward, she said, yes, you said that right. They were fired. They would say they were fired on the spot or they fired them on the spot. Yeah, right away. And so we know some levels of racism. And, but, this call is out to black men. We're going to have to do a better job at protecting ourselves from the system. And a lot of it has to do with our own behavior and how we view things. Because we can't continue to allow this to happen as a group. No other group suffers like this. And to all you black folks who call yourselves right-wingers and uber conservatives and trying to tell the truth. Well, they kill more white folks than they do. Oh, yeah, Well, they're a larger group of the population. But they don't target white folks. They must have, if they kill a Caucasian, he's really, really giving them, they just went through all the chances that they gave them. And you ever notice any black cops beating or killing anybody other than black? You ever noticed that? I haven't. You ever seen a black, big, strong black cop, male or female, beat or murder anybody that's not black? That needs to be addressed in the coming weeks. What's with these Negroes and this Sambo, this Stephen from Django mindset when it comes to our own people? We have to discuss cognitive dissonance for our own people. These are the conversations that need to be had in Memphis and beyond. To these black officers and ask them, why are you a cop? And then you patrol black neighborhoods and you're angry at the men, but you're winking at the young girls and the women in the ghettos and the black in these low-income neighborhoods. Your slick ass. Oh, yeah, you don't want to see the men around, but you don't mind the young women running through there. Joaquina said, no, because we love everyone else, but detached from ourselves. Some people, I must say. Yeah, more than some. Joaquina, it's more than some. So maybe we need to get the video around to the average black Memphian. Carter G. Woodson's video, it's called Inappropriate Behavior. And the world, for whoever sees this video, if you're black, go and watch Carter G. Woodson's video. Dr. Claude Anderson's video, Inappropriate Behavior. Now, if you want to read Carter G. Woodson's book, Miseducation of the Negro, that needs to be done as well. Because the foolishness has to stop. We've been here in this kind of damn country about 400 years, 300 years, and we still haven't become the masters of our own destiny in this country the way everyone else has. We still let them tell us which one of us to hate. We still have this weird ass dislike or disdain for each other. We can't live in the same neighborhood. We don't want to go nowhere where we at. And we all we have. So anyway, today is my birthday. I turned 54. I'm looking forward to 54 more. Any current birthday wishes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Any future birthday wishes, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And I wish the brother Tyree got a chance to see another birthday. And I just want to share my birthday with his memory and his folks. So, y'all be cool. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.